My first question, and I mean, answer as much as you want because it's, personal, it's your life. But why did you and Rob finally call it quits?
Let me start going back. If you guys don't know, I am the mother of one. I have a 21-year-old daughter. And there was a lot of, my life that I put on hold when my daughter was younger to raise her. Rob has 4 children, all minor children. And where I'm at the end, he's still in the process of raising children. And I walked into this thinking that I would be ready to take on the role of being his helpmate with that. But if I'm honest with myself, because like I said, I'm never going to say anything bad about Rob. He's an amazing man. I wasn't prepared for that. And a lot of Rob's past was creeping into our present, and I knew that it would continue into our future. And I'm a fairly unproblematic woman, and Rob's past relationships were creeping into our relationship. And there were things from his past that really started to impact me. I won't go into too much stories, but let's just say it got to the point where that was overwhelming, and the life path that I wanted couldn't happen. And I think Rob was honest enough with himself when we had the conversation to say that it's unfair of him to ask me to continue to walk this journey with him when there was so much he still needed to wrap up from his past. He did the very mature thing of saying, his life path, he needed to focus, and I agreed with him on being a dad, and that couldn't include really fully putting me first and focusing on being my future husband. And I respected that. I respected that he didn't fight for me. When I said to him that maybe I need to bow out of the relationship so that he can focus on the things that I think are necessary for him. I've done the parental journey. I know how important that role is. If he had fought for me, I would have stayed. I love that man with my whole heart and soul. And even though it would have been a hard fight, because again, the things I've been through with some of the women in Rob's life, I've literally been stalked by one of them on Instagram. I've had to block her on everything. She found an email and she emailed me ridiculous things. I've been cursed out by a woman in his life. It's not been the best experience for someone who is very unproblematic. I'm not the woman to curse you out or text you, or whenever those things happen, I would just say, Rob, this is this, please deal with that. Because I was raised well. I was raised to have a level of respect for people, and I've also learned in my life not to give away my power to someone else, but there's only so much of that before it starts to really impact the relationship. So I'm giving you a long answer, but I mean, unraveling this relationship wasn't something that happened overnight. It wasn't the distance that actually broke us up. It was the reality that our life paths, just where I was going and where he was going, it was kind of looking this way as opposed to this way.
Okay, we have a question from the viewers. Did Rob ever talk to his baby mothers?
You know how they say don't negotiate with terrorists?
Yes.
I think there is so much one can do to control someone else's behavior.
Mhm.
And I think he tried to insulate me as much as he could. And I give him mad respect and props for that. He did try. But when you're dealing with people, I think, who are unreasonable, and when you've got people with unhealthy mindsets, because I'm gonna not say anything negative about him because he is, they are the mother of his children, and I love him. So I don't want to talk negatively, but they just to say when you have an unhealthy mindset, trying to negotiate with people with unhealthy mindsets, it's a waste of time.